I talked for about 15 minutes, and I asked him how he's made it through all these years. He told me his daughters keep him going. He also said he's grateful to all the fans who support him, and now he says he's grateful to that witness who came forward.
This is a call from the Defender of A, Louisiana Department of Corrections.
I'm not gonna lie, these last 16 years have been a struggle.
Corey Miller, known to many of you as C. Murder, has spent more than a decade in prison, and up until a few days ago, he wasn't sure if he'd ever get out.
I've been snatched away from my family, from raising my kids, and from my career, from everything. And I just want it back.
A key witness came forward recanting his statement. In an affidavit, Kenneth Jordan said Jefferson Parish deputies pressured him to lie by holding an unrelated charge over his head. Jordan said he knew Miller did not shoot and kill a teenager 16 years ago, but he said detectives told him to say otherwise. Now, all these years later, Jordan says he wants to right his wrong, and Miller forgives him.
I want him to know I'm not upset with him, and I'm proud of him. And me and my family, my daughters especially, we thank him. For real, I mean, it's a life-changing moment.
He says for the first time in a while, he has hope that he may not die in
Kenneth
prison.
Jordan, I do not know, but I do know it's a difference between real life and Hollywood. When they ask me why did the witnesses recant their statement, all I'm going to tell you is follow the money. Why would I go on national television to tell a story before I tell it in real life if it's all done in genuinely love? So I'm just going to say be honest with yourselves. But it's a difference between real life and Hollywood, and I'm going to leave that at that, because Kenneth Jordan, I do not know. But the other witness, I do know.
Jordan. Peanut. I'm not mad with Peanut, man. I know Peanut personally. Before any trial even started, Peanut came to my house. Peanut used to run with my cousin PJ. Told me exactly what happened from start to finish, apologized, said he was going to testify. He ended up testifying at both trials. Even after they tried to threaten him, he said he was scared for his life. But he did the right thing nonetheless. After the trials, Peanut was trying to rap because he played ball as well. Real popular in New Orleans West Bend. But what happened after the testimony stuff, he started getting blackballed in the music industry. So nobody wanted to put him on. So he didn't get anywhere outside of locally and doing a couple things on his own. So I guess they got to him, they promised him a deal or whatever the case, because after I saw the reasonable doubt stuff, I called him personally. And he was like, "Big brother, there's a difference between entertainment and real life. Like, don't trip." And he went on to social media and ran all. I understand, I'm not mad at him. I swear to God, I'm not mad at him. Things happen, man. People want to get on. Some people willing to do anything to get on. But shout out to Peanut. I'm not mad.
Who was Steve Thomas? Baseball player, big youngster, rapper, kid in the neighborhood. My answer as his brother would be all of the above.
Second-degree murder again. Rapper C. Murder will spend the rest of his life in jail. But will today's controversial verdict be overturned by an appeals court? WDSU News reporter Travis Mackel is live at 10 to tell us why some say yes.
Well, Chris, C. Murder's family and friends say they believe this conviction will be tossed out after they appeal, but one legal analyst says not so fast. Emotions erupted as rapper C. Murder's family members spilled out of the Jefferson Parish courthouse. A jury found C. Murder, whose real name is Corey Miller, guilty of second-degree murder for killing 16-year-old Steve Thomas at a West Bank nightclub in 2002. Miller's family cried foul after the verdict was read. Do you think this will be overturned on appeal?
Oh, absolutely, it'll be overturned on appeal, without a doubt.
The reason? Monday afternoon, jurors told Judge Hans Liljeburg that they were deadlocked. Liljeburg ordered the jurors to continue deliberating. That carried into Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, the jurors told the judge that a female juror slept during some deliberations and kept quoting the Bible. That juror asked to be removed. Liljeburg denied it. Then the jury reached a guilty verdict, only to have the judge not validate the verdict since one juror was crying, saying she wasn't sure.
Judge Liljeburg sent the jury back, kind of calmed them down, advised them that they should not feel pressured.
3 hours later, the final guilty verdict came in. One legal analyst says the judge's actions will not lead to the conviction being overturned.
Not only was it extra cautious, he did the right thing when the jury allegedly was saying that he had some problems with the verdict. So what he did, sent them back to further deliberate. Very experienced judge. He did the right thing, and I don't see it as an issue. Really, I do not.
When the verdict was read, there were about a dozen sheriff's deputies inside the courtroom. Corey Miller didn't say a word as the verdict came down. Chris?
So, did he do it? Didn't he do it? They always say it's so much controversy, big brother, I don't know what to believe. Well, I know what to believe. It's the facts. I wasn't at the first trial, but I heard about the girl who urinated on the stand because she was scared. She was one of the ones who actually saw him pull the trigger too. But she got on the stand and say she didn't, and that someone told her to say that. And then later, with tears in her eyes, she caught my daddy in the hallway and apologized and say she was scared. And my daddy, being the real one that he is, didn't even get mad. Told her that he understand, gave her a hug. And this is during tears at the first trial. So anybody that was there can attest to that, of course, except for his people, because they're going to have an opposite story. But what I'm telling you is facts. As far as the second trial, I was there and I heard everything. And it wasn't the witness's testimony that got him locked up alone. So for everyone out there that believes that narrative, I have some true hard facts for you.
He seen C with a gun. He sucked C with a gun. Yeah, but he ain't supposed to do that. He ain't supposed to do that. Why he done it? I don't know. I wasn't at the table with him, because I ain't never gone to the table with them bitches.
Right, so is there a reason why they picked him up? Was he like a suspect too?
Wayne, fuck, that's Wango.
Yeah.
That's Wango. He under the flag. He a killer. He was into all kind of shit. So the people was on him already. They was already on Wayne. They was picking Wayne up for some old shit. They was picking him up for some old shit. Yeah. He want rest in peace, Wayne, man.
Right. So did he? So after that situation happened, and he told him that he seen C with a gun.
He couldn't come back to the hood.
He couldn't come back to the hood.
Nah, not under the sun. Probably under the Dolphins.
And P name in there too.
See what happened was, because he about the witness thing. Yeah, about the witness.
Okay, and P allegedly told somebody to talk to the witness, basically.
No. See what happened was, Wayne said C was trying to pay him to kill the witness.
Right.
Yeah, P was trying to pay him to kill the witness.
Right. And yeah, that's okay, because I believe I read something along those lines.
Yeah.
He said that P was like, yeah, talk to the witness.
Well, holler at the witness. But then what that mean? But he really was telling me Wayne said that in his own words.
And what was Master P's response to this accusation?
Which everybody else can change. But when you go to the club and you convicted of a crime that somebody else committed because you with the wrong people, and then the people that's with you call them the cut boys, that's who taking care of your business while you locked up, they on the streets, and they all turned on you, and you say nothing about it, you never made a record about them, you never wrote a book about them, turning on you. I mean, how is that real? How is that true? Because that's your word, true. They turned on you, bro. You could have been home with your family 18 years ago. I mean, how long Monica been knowing Kim Kardashian? You done did a homeless strike, everything, bro.
So the famous next question is, what about Juan Flowers? What about the guy who confessed it to doing the killing? What about that, big homie?
Why?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this. How long have you and Corey been friends?
Since like 1999.
And I understand that you confessed to being a part of the shooting?
Yes, I tried to confess to being the shooter.
That you were already in prison when you decided to come forward and confess?
Yes, I already had a life sentence.
So now that we have you here, can you set the record straight? Were you the one that killed this victim in this case?
No, I was not.
So why did you lie about doing it?
Derail the trial.
How do I know you're not trying to derail my investigation? Why should I believe what you're saying now?
It's the real on what happened that night.
So.
And truth of the matter is Juan Flowers was already serving a life sentence. So Louisiana DA says, okay, we will accept your guilty plea of killing this teen, but we want the death penalty. Then Mr. Juan Flowers came back and said, oh, I lied. I was just trying to get him off. This is what they paid me to do. So you understand? This is C Murder Friends. So the $1 million question is now, what's next? What's next? What's next?
When you look at like C Murder, because he's still, like you said, he doing his time. And I'm gonna derail and come back a little bit. But you look at Gangsta, who had life plus 20-something years. Do you think that he was out of line for telling on dead people to get out?
I wouldn't do it. And my partners know I'm rocking like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
They know what it is. Even if they do die, like I done had this conversation with some of my OGs, and you know what they told me? I would have wanted you to tell whatever you got to tell to get up out there, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take that approach. That's just me.
So let me flip the question like your OG's probably asking. If you passed away and you caught some bodies while you was dead, and your best friend knew about him and he's serving the life years, would you be okay with him giving it up?
Let me answer that question with this. C Murder could have took that approach with my daddy. That's my answer.
Got you.
You feel me?
Got you. Okay.
He could have took that approach with my daddy. It was me and Slim show. You know what I'm saying? We was there together, woo-de wop, however he had to run it. He could have
So it sounds like the next motive is put the body on Soulja Slim, because it's easy to point the finger at a dead man. Plus, Terrance Gangsta Williams is on every channel, from supposedly ratting on the dead or telling on the living. Whatever his situation is not my business. But that's the going narrative, and you know this game is monkey see, monkey do. So because everybody follows suit on the internet, my guess is come up with some witnesses that says Soulja Slim was the killer. But stay tuned for part 2, man. I have my family interviews, and you'll see why mama didn't want to do this. So imagine your son got killed, or your brother got killed, or your cousin got killed, and you got to relive this foolishness every year. That was the purpose of this, and it's time to put it to bed.